Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
The biggest sale of the year is happening right now during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda. For a limited time, make no payments for 90 days on every new Honda. That's right, you choose and make no payments for 90 days at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda on Segan Lane.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hello and welcome as we start another week of the Clarence Bug Show. Here's hoping all is well with you and yours in this post-resurrection holiday Monday. Make that Tuesday. Thank you, Marty. And hopefully all is well with you and yours since the last opportunity we had to spend a little time with you and yours. I chuckled just now because I'm thinking, oh boy, here we go again. You would think that people by now would have figured out if you work for a correctional institution, the number of people as of late that have been discovered trying to smuggle contraband into a jail / prison / correctional institute, that thinking people would say, you know, this is not the smartest thing to do. Well, as the old folk were so fond of saying back in the day, here we go again. In recent editions of the show, we've talked about individuals in Iberville Parish and other parishes with more and more frequency being discovered smuggling contraband into prisons. I guess there's something to be said about graduating up the scale. Yesterday, the Department of Corrections announcing that a corrections officer at Angola State Penitentiary caught trying to smuggle, you fill in the blank, contraband into the jail last month. 31-year-old Sarah Irwin booked on March 27th on charges including introduction of contraband into a penal facility, possession with intent to distribute, and malfeasance in office. According to the West Feliciana Sheriff's Office, she was caught with illegal drugs, alcohol, and 16 cell phones. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I'm in the wrong line of work. 16 cell phones, illegal drugs, and alcohol. I guess some people never learn. Now, what this says to me, the degree of regularity that this is occurring now, two major things here. One, I'm tempted to say security is not as tight as it should be. However, the frequency of the arrests and finding out that this is going on would also, as a counter argument, say, well, they're on their job. They're doing what they need to do. I mean, it's almost one a week now. We see this happening. There's also a part of me that wonders, maybe we're not paying these people enough money, meaning it's easy to succumb to the temptation of making additional money if you're underpaid and you're in an environment where this is always a temptation. But there's also that part of me that, like I just said, some people never learn. If the pay is that low and you see this many people being arrested, jailed for bringing contraband into a jail, conventional wisdom would say, I'd probably say to myself, I need to find another job. Unfortunately for 31-year-old Sarah Irwin, if she is proven guilty, and let's be sure to add that little caveat, she will have a job. It will be having other people tell her what to do for the next, 5, 10 years or what have you. This is a troubling trend. And let's be honest, at the rate illegal drugs are attempting, and in many cases being smuggled into penal facilities, with the prevalence of fentanyl and other deadly drugs out there, it pains me to say it's probably not going to be long before we start seeing inmates overdosing while in the custody of a correctional facility. I would like to think, and maybe I'm totally off base with this, but I would like to think that we're better than that. Can't blame an old guy for wishful thinking, right? In other Louisiana news, the Louisiana legislative session now officially underway, and while this 2-month session focuses primarily on fiscal issues, each representative is allowed 5 pieces of legislation to be introduced during the fiscal session. Some of the things that we're going to be keeping an eye on throughout the course of this. 1, the state is forecasting a $2.2 billion budget surplus, meaning we'll have an additional $2.2 billion for state legislators to spend. I would imagine, based on Governor John Bel Edwards' opening address, most of that money is going to be targeted for one-time transportation projects. God knows we need it. Teacher pay raises. God knows they need it. Paying off disaster-related debt owed to the federal government, and to offset expiring pandemic relief funds used to provide early learning access. Don't know if you heard yesterday or this morning that President Joe Biden signing into law the fact that the pandemic is now over, at least according to Joe Biden. There's so many places I could go with that, but I'm going to let that sleeping dog lie. And y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Other things that are expected to be focused on: criminal justice reform, additionally, including increased punishment for certain crimes like simple burglary, distribution of fentanyl and other illegal drugs, a proposal to decriminalize marijuana, in all likelihood will rear its head again. You know, in recent memory, we've seen any number of legislators attempt to introduce that legislation only to see it fall by the wayside. Whether or not that will be any different this time around, only time will tell. Additionally, LGBTQ-related legislation that is expected, as is the case all across the country, to have any number of bills filed in that regard as well. We obviously will keep an eye on the proceedings as they make their way through, and anything that we think will affect you and yours, we of course will pass that information along to yours. It is a sad day for a family here in Louisiana, and it is a guy whose name, if you have followed politics for any amount of time in Louisiana, you know the name Richard Ayoub, the former AG, Attorney General, if you will, dying recently at the age of 78. It is something that we all know is a part of life, but unfortunately, many of us, until it strikes close to home, don't understand the finality and the magnitude of it. Richard Ayoub was one of those folks that loved the state that he called his own. And we would like to send our sincerest condolences and prayers to the Ayoub family. If you are so fortunate on this day to be able to say, well, I can sympathize with them, I guess, but I've never gone through, losing a close family member, much less a patriarch. Well, I say to you, just keep living, my friend, because it's coming. Death is as much a part of life as life itself. Not that it makes it any easier at all when it happens, but it simply reinforces the fact that our time here is limited, and if you are an individual that relishes doing good things while you have time, this simply reinforces. Our time here is limited, y'all. And the things that we do while here are the things that people will remember us by. And for many years, Richard Ayoub was one of those that we could pretty much count on standing up for doing the right thing for Louisiana. He is one of those public servants that will be sorely missed. We are, Marty, just a hair in front of our normal break time, but we got a special segment. Don't worry. It's not that's just stupid. That's coming up later in the show. We've got a new company that we want to introduce you to, a company that caught my eye, caught my attention. Speaking of life and death, it's a perfect segue when we come back. Stay close. Segment 2 of the Clarence Bug Show coming up right after this.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Hey everybody, I'm Kevin Gallagher. This is Roy Fletcher. We hope you'll join us for Fletch Nation, especially if you like talking politics.
Man, come and join us. We'll give you the information, and then we'll give you the context. And by the way, we'll give you fun too.
Lots of fun. We hit the local races, the state. We even look at what's going on all across America. And by the way, this space is available. If you'd like to talk about advertising, send your emails to Roy Fletcher at royfletcher.com and join us every week here on the Pelican for Fletch Nation.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
The season of inspiration is the perfect time to discover the enhanced Mazda CX-5. Named a 2022 IIHS Safety Pick Plus Award winner, its highest safety award honor. Choose from over 45 CX-5s available at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
Hi, gang. Clarence Buggs here, inviting you to come by Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard, where we tape the show live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 o'clock. Come by and feast on news, sports, current events, love of God and country, and lots of common sense, along with some of the best barbecue anywhere on the planet. 10655 Coursey Boulevard, Old School Barbecue, home of the Clarence Buggs Show.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Welcome back to segment 2 of the Tuesday edition of the Clarence Buggs Show. No, this is not Clarence over here. This is a different Clarence. Lee Serio is the owner of a great business and, by the way, the newest sponsor of the Clarence Buggs Show. Appreciate you for that, brother. Dignity Memorial. We just finished talking at the end of the last segment about the passing of Richard Ayoub.
Yes.
And hopefully his family had all their arrangements taken care of. Your company, Dignity Memorial, is one that has dedicated itself to helping Louisianians and others, for that matter, deal with the finality of death. Tell us a little something about Dignity Memorial, Lee.
Certainly. Dignity Memorial is over 2,000 funeral homes and cemeteries.
Wait, did you say 2,000?
Yes, sir. Located across the United States.
Wow.
And Canada.
Uh-huh.
And actually here locally, we are Raymond Horse Funeral Home,
Uh-huh.
Green Oaks Funeral Home,
Okay.
Orso Funeral Home,
All the big names.
boys, and
Uh-huh.
Central Funeral Home.
Okay.
And I represent those four here. Now, when you said earlier I'm the owner of the business, I'm not the owner of Dignity Memorial.
Right.
But I'm a pre-planning advisor.
Uh-huh.
And actually, it's a team between me and my wife.
Uh-huh.
And we work together.
Gretchen?
Yes,
She's good people, by the way.
definitely.
So what are the services that you offer, and why should somebody watching right now say, you know what, I need to call these folks and get the ball rolling?
Well, one of the things I say that I do is I make sure folks have all their ducks in a row, have all their final arrangements taken care of before they check out and hopefully head for the promised land.
Right.
And what we do, or what I do with folks is, I know death is a tough subject for a lot of people, but we're not really talking about death here. We're talking about taking care of your loved ones, because you don't really want to leave that up to your family to do. Don't leave it for those that we leave behind. Something that's probably some of the most important family business that we have to take care of is our final arrangements.
Right.
And of course, we're talking about funeral home services, and then we're talking about where it is that you want your final disposition to be.
Right.
Burial or not.
Uh-huh.
Have those affairs in order so your family's not trying to figure it out on that worst day of their life.
We see these days commercials all over the place, television, radio, companies that we have no clue where these people are located. You're a local guy, and nobody, it's been my experience, particularly in Louisiana, nobody takes care of local people like local people.
That's correct. We, even though we are a national corporation, we are based out of Houston, Texas. And
but you live in Baton Rouge.
But I'm born and raised here, right here in Baton Rouge.
Uh-huh.
Born 1962, graduated Bel Air High School 1980. Moved down into the New Orleans area for some time, came back 1999 after the death of my first wife at an early age, at 36 years old. And my current wife, she lost her husband at age 30. And my wife, Gretchen, and I work as a team.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, when you do call us up to set up an appointment, you would be speaking to her.
Mm-hmm.
And we do this because we lost loved ones early and didn't have any plans in place.
Wow. Wow. When you think back to when that happened and looking ahead now to what you do now, having gone through that experience, what is, for Lee, the best thing to come out of all of this?
For Lee, knowing the satisfaction that folks are taking care of their business beforehand, and actually when you do prearrange, you're actually saving money for your family in general because you're able to lock in today's prices and make all your wishes known so that there's no guesswork.
Right.
And I have seen families, when there's a loss, come into the arrangement room at the local funeral home, find out how much it costs, and it's thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, and go around the table and say, well, I can come up with $2,000 or $3,000. I can put $1,500 on my credit card.
Right.
It's tough. But when folks come in and they're like, my parents had this all done for us,
right,
and we get to tell them everything's done, and you need to sign a few papers. If you want to make any changes, you are welcome to do that.
Right.
But if you want to stick with what your family picked out, it's all taken care of.
When you and I first talked, one of the things that really struck me was you knew full well, after watching the show for any amount of time, that I'm an Army brat. And I have this special affinity for the military. Dignity Memorial also has some very special things that they do for those that have dedicated their lives to serving this country, correct?
That is correct, yes, sir. And when I meet with veterans, an honorably discharged veteran is able, him and his spouse, to receive full burial at a VA National Cemetery. Locally here, Zachary, Louisiana.
Right.
Everybody's heard of Port Hudson.
Where my father and mother are both interred.
Very good. Port Hudson has filled up. There are spouses that will be joining their loved ones there. But they built a brand new cemetery just south, Louisiana National Cemetery. And when I meet with folks, husband and wife, getting up in age, and they've been worried about this.
Right.
And I get to tell them, because of the blood, sweat, and tears you gave for your country, you and your spouse are entitled to full burial. We're talking grave sites, vaults, opening and close fees,
right,
gravestones, headstones, and perpetual upkeep of the cemetery. If you had to go buy that, let's say at Green Oaks Memorial Park, whom I represent, a husband and wife to go buy that, spending over $20,000 just for a place to go. Now how are you going to get there? And that's where the funeral home comes into play. So we are able to, as the funeral home, offer our veterans, you're able to lock in today's prices, and we're able to even give discounts in some cases for veterans. So it's really something that should be done.
I thought it was particularly impressive as well that you all, aside from the military, also have a very special place in your heart and offer special services for our first responders.
Yes, sir. It's not something we advertise, but when a first responder is killed in the line of duty, we will take care of that funeral service free of charge.
Wow.
We also take care of homeless veterans free of charge. There have been some instances in the past few years. We've had officers die in the line of duty, and we have taken care of them. Yes,
wow.
sir.
Wow. Do I need to tell you any more? When you're talking local people with this kind of dedication to local people, these are the folks you need to call. Now, I've got to imagine, Lee, somebody watching right now is going, I know it's coming. I know it's a part of life, but I'm not ready emotionally, mentally to make that call. When they call you, we're not talking, okay, you got to sign right now. You take the time to sit down and talk with people and walk them through the entire process, don't you?
Yes, sir. We're going to consult. I will meet with families. Some, they tell me, I'm ready to do this. Let's get it done. Come out and see me. Others say, well, I've got a lot of questions.
Right.
And we have a personal planning guide that we will go through. This is a comprehensive journal. And if it's filled out properly, it will answer most of the questions that your family will have at the time of your loss. Whether you're able to go ahead and purchase anything now, start paying on anything, or just not, you're letting your family know your wishes. And that's something we can address in the months or years to come when you're able to start picking it out and actually starting to pay on it. And the good thing about pre-planning is, well, some folks, they can pay up front for it.
Right.
Some folks say, I need to start paying for this monthly because it's expensive.
Right.
Folks will go over 3 or 5 years paying this out monthly, and we can include life insurance on that monthly payment so that if you pass away before you finish paying off your funeral,
right,
the life insurance will kick in, pay the funeral off. Or it's simply, I just want to lock in this price, get things done. Let's split it out over 3 or 5 years. Don't charge me any interest. Don't add any extra fees.
Right.
We can do that too.
I have always prided myself in my broadcast career of being able to convey a message to people in common sense, everyday terms. Something you said stuck with me the first time we had a conversation. And you mentioned it's like getting your arrangements on layaway. Remember that?
Yes.
For the average person, that's got to mean a lot, because many people, I would imagine, are scared to death of having the conversation because they're thinking, okay, X amount of dollars right up front. Oh God, I don't have that kind of money. I don't have those kind of resources. This gives you the opportunity to do that and gain that peace of mind, doesn't it?
Oh, yes, sir. That is correct. And like I said, mentioning those different payment options, you have the peace of mind of knowing. And there are a lot of folks out there that they don't have life insurance, and they want to opt that life insurance option, and others that have plenty and just say, I just want to just put it on layaway, start paying it down.
Right.
And we can do that.
What is the most rewarding part of all of this for you, Lee?
After we've taken care of it, and folks tell me, I've just had a burden lifted from me.
Wow.
And personally, my wife and I, we did this a year ago. And it's true. It's a burden lifted.
Right.
We don't know who's going to have to take care of it. It could be grandchildren trying to do this in the future. We've got it done. It takes a burden, and it's a big relief.
Somebody's watching right now, and they're saying to themselves, he's right. I hate to admit it, but I need to get this taken care of. How do they go about getting in touch with either you or Gretchen?
Okay, if you would, call, I believe the number's on the screen. You will get my wife, Gretchen. She will tell you a little bit more about what we'll do. I'll come out, and she'll arrange a convenient time for you, and we'll make that happen.
And you tell them Clarence Buggs told me to call you, and they will take care of you. It is something that you are going to be hearing a lot more about on the Clarence Buggs Show. And you know me. Over all the years, my MO has always been, I want to help my local people. I want to help my Louisiana people. Rest assured, I would not introduce this guy to you, and I certainly wouldn't introduce Gretchen, who, by the way, no skin off your back, but she's a much more darling of a person than Lee is. I'm just kidding, y'all. I'm just kidding. But they have made it their business to help Louisiana folks at a time when, if you're not careful, you could very easily be taken advantage of by any number of unscrupulous individuals out there. I know it's not easy. Listen, y'all, this is the voice of experience. I mentioned earlier, my late father and mother, both interred at Port Hudson National Cemetery. So I have been there and done that. And I know what's involved every day in dealing with this sort of thing. These are the kind of people that you want to get with ahead of time to make it a whole lot easier in your hour of bereavement. By the way, the guy plays in a band too, has a band. So you know he's a Louisiana boy. He plays music. He's in the business of helping people. What else do you need to know? Give them a call and they'll take care of you. My brother, as always, great to see you.
Thank you, Clarence.
All right, quick break. When we come back, it's Tuesday. Yeah, it's segment 3, just a tad late, but still. Coming up next, another edition of Now That's Just Stupid. Stay close. You're listening and watching The Clarence Bugg Show. See you in a minute.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
You could be driving. Now's the time to save on new Accords during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda of Acadiana. Get our lowest prices and biggest savings on our largest selection of Accords this year. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda of Acadiana, I-49 just south of Opelousas.
Hi, I'm Katie, Operation Manager here at Old School Barbecue. We're excited about all of the changes here at Old School, and we'd like to invite everyone to come out and enjoy some delicious barbecue at Old School prices. We feature brisket, chicken, ribs, sausage, and the Boss Hog pulled pork sandwich voted best deal in town. We also have live music Friday and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. We can't wait to see you.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Caught spiders?
Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to the Tuesday edition of the Clarence Bugg Show. If you are new to the show by chance, you may not be aware that we have instituted a segment that is specifically geared toward all the stupidity that is ravaging our country and the world. Keep in mind, however, we're not talking just regular STUPID. What we're talking about here is a level of stupidity that requires a new word with its own spelling. STOOPID, as in, now that's just stupid. We start with the whole LGBTQ craze and Bud Light and Dylan Mulvaney. Yeah, Marty just said, who? This is the guy that identifies as a woman And Bud Light thought, for some reason, hey, we ought to partner with Dude, and that will endear us to new customers. Exactly. Exactly. How stupid do you have to be to not understand the core of your constituency? Budweiser drinkers, Bud Light drinkers, they don't play this LGBTQ MNOP XYZ foolishness. They don't go for that. So after making this announcement, and people all across the country now boycotting Anheuser-Busch and all of their beers, magically, all of a sudden, Budweiser has gone completely silent on all of their social media platforms. I wonder why that could be. Of course, now, at the same time, and this one, it's as though stupid is in a contest these days. All right, they did this, and this is really stupid. Let's see if we can top that. Oh, wait, they topped us. We need to do something even more stupid than what the last company did. So Nike turns around and hires the same guy who thinks he's a woman to sell, wait for it, women's apparel. This is a dude who thinks he's a woman selling sports bras. I hear you laughing, Dow. You're not alone, brother. You're not alone, brother. The guy with nothing is selling sports bras. STOOOOOOOOOPID. Stupid.
But it's so cute.
But, and here's the thing. Here's the thing. How insulting could you be to women? Well, we got to be inclusive and we have to be diverse, but do you not understand you are insulting all of womanhood?
They don't care.
You're right. They don't care. Until you start to hit them in the pocket. The amount of money Budweiser, Nike, and listen, I get it full well. They figure we're so big, we won't miss it. Well, I hope not, because you're going to lose it. And the simple fact of the matter is, all of the folks that now are not buying Nike merchandise, all of the people now that refuse to drink any of the Anheuser-Busch products, it's not like they're going to turn around later on and double up on spending this money. That money's gone, son. It's gone forever. But there's something even more troubling about this, and many of you probably have taken no time to think about this at all. Kamala Harris recently took a trip to Africa, to the continent. And of course, it was as though she was on the campaign trail, and it's as though she had no compunction about pushing the whole LGBTQ MNOP garbage over there. She should have asked somebody. Because them folks over there, they don't play this, son. The folks in Africa, they don't play this. Zambia, Zimbabwe, Uganda, Rwanda, Kenya, Ghana, South Africa, they have taken a serious hard stance against this. I saw from the Kenyan parliament, legislator gets up to address this and says, on the continent of Africa, we are known for our safaris. People come from all over the world to view our native wildlife. You see lions, you see elephants, Cape buffalo, you name it, we've got it. He then went on to say, despite their shortcomings, he does like National Geographic because they come over and they do all these wildlife specials on the wildlife in Africa. Then he pointed out, on all of these documentaries that National Geographic does, on all of the safaris that people come to take part in their country, never once have you seen a male lion which will fight to the death for the right to pass their genes on by mating with the lionesses. Never once have you seen a male lion fight another male lion for the right to sexually gratify himself with another lion. Never once. Now, some of y'all are probably saying, well, Clarence, it's Africa, you know, they don't have but so much to offer to everybody else. They've been ravaged by civil wars and this country, that country, whatever, whatever. Here's what you're missing. When the Vice President of the United States of America travels to Africa to push this nonsense, all of them are saying, you know what? Keep your money. We don't want it. Matter of fact, we don't need it. Because what many of you fail to realize, there's a new kid in town over there. He goes by the name of China. Have you seen recently how much money China is investing in infrastructure in Africa? Have you seen recently how many low interest or no interest loans China has been making in Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, Namibia, all across Africa? And just in case you don't know, that place is chock full of natural resources. The whole green agenda, electric vehicles and the like, you know where the bulk of the lithium for the batteries for these cars, you know where it comes from? Ding, ding, ding. That's right. We are alienating the rest of the world because of our ungodly, and yeah, I said it, ungodly interest in the LGBTQ plus agenda. And when it comes down that China is the most favored trading partner with Africa, we will have no one to blame but ourselves. Why? You already know the answer. Because we're stupid. I only hope that at some point the powers that be will understand, listen, if this is what you want to do, have at it. But outside of our borders, the rest of the world, they're not having it. When you look at the United States of America, Canada, and the European Union, ask the folks in the largest continent on the planet how they feel about it. You will find a completely different story from what the mainstream media has been feeding you. I just hate the fact that we had an opportunity to ingratiate ourselves with what the future is holding. And yet again, it's the liberals among us that have caused all of this. STOOPID. Now that's just stupid. Final break of today's show. I guess this is a natural segue for the final segment, because the next one coming up, these people are delusional. Or maybe they just think you stupid. Quick break. We'll come back, put that big old pretty bow on this puppy, and wrap up today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
Treads & Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads & Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads & Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonecountryClub.com.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready. And health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back to the final segment of the Tuesday edition of the Clarence Bug Show. You know, I guess it is because of my life experiences that I've come to understand that there are people out there that unless you stop them in their tracks and correct them, they will operate under the assumption that you're stupid unless and until you yank them by the collar and give them specific examples that you're not stupid. They will continue to do so. Enter White House spokesperson Karine Jean-Pierre. Last week, during a press briefing, a reporter asked her, Karine, when are we going to have a formal press conference from President Joe Biden where we can just sit down with him and ask him questions? And of course, she started the tap dance thing, not really giving an answer, but tossing a word salad. So they didn't let her off the hook. They pressed her on it. Then her delusional, can I make up a word? Hell yeah, it's the Clarence Bug Show. I can do whatever I want. They do it all the time, so I can do it as well. Her delusionalness, just made up a new one, jumped to the forefront. This woman says, and I quote, "So I'll say this. It is unprecedented that a president takes as many shouted questions as this president has." That's exactly what everybody in the room said. What? You could hear the entire press corps grumbling, saying, this woman's delusional. And of course, as good Democrats do, good liberals do, she couldn't leave well enough alone. She had to double down. Quote, okay, well, we'll certainly get the data and share it with you on how it's unprecedented, the amount of shouted questions that Joe Biden has answered so far during his presidency. And again, leave it to Karine Jean-Pierre to take stupid to an entirely different level. She then goes on to say, while cameras are rolling and everybody could hear, quote, certainly the president many times has stood in front of all of you, has taken questions on his own because he wanted to see what was on your minds. This has happened multiple times. When is the last time you remember Joe Biden sitting down in a room full of reporters, letting them ask whatever they will, and getting a coherent answer? When is the last time you remember that? Say what you want, love him or hate him. Donald J. Trump would sit there forever with the media. Is that all you got? You want to ask me something else? What about you? What would you like to know? He would own up to the American people having the right to know what the leader of the freaking free world thinks about things. And then she let it slip. Then she let it slip. See, this is the bad thing about lying. When you lie, you got to remember what your lie was. And inevitably, you get tripped up on it. It doesn't take long. You get tripped up. She says, does Karine Jean-Pierre, when asked, are y'all trying to shield the president from answering questions? Oh, no, definitely not. Definitely not. Then she says, and I quote, I understand, John. I understand. John is the reporter asking. Here it comes. I have dealt with this question about 3 times before. So wait a minute. You just told us you were lying. You just said it. You acknowledged it. Well, we've answered more shouted questions than any president in history. So why then have you had to answer the question about him not answering questions a minimum of 3 times before? See what happens when you lie incessantly? It's impossible to keep all the lies straight. But, not to be outdone, Karine Jean-Pierre probably took, I don't know, second place to this guy, John Kirby. Name ring a bell? John Kirby is the coordinator for strategic communications at the National Security Council. Thursday of last week, reporters asked him, Mr. Kirby, is the president, does he have any regrets? Is he sorry about anything about the botched withdrawal in Afghanistan? His response? No. Joe Biden's proud of how we got out of Afghanistan. Excuse me? And being the good liberal that he is, he couldn't leave well enough alone. He then goes on to say, everybody's talking about chaos in the withdrawal from Afghanistan. I didn't see any chaos. You didn't see people falling out of the wheel wells of C-130s that were taken off from the airport. You didn't see that? You didn't see the aftermath of the 13 American servicemen killed by a suicide bomber? You didn't see that? You haven't seen the pictures of $7.2 billion worth of American armaments, paid for, by the way, with your tax dollars. But there was no chaos. I didn't see any chaos. I don't know what you're talking about. These people are delusional. I have said before and I say again, if you voted for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, you owe your fellow Americans a major apology. If you voted for these clowns, particularly because Orange Man bad, I ask you, how's that working out for you now? There was no chaos. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't see any chaos. Delusional. Or maybe they just think you stupid. I'll leave to you to decide which one it is. My time's up and I gotta go. But you already know the drill. You're right. This day, maybe more so than any other day in history, I give it to you. You know what? You're right. America, we are not perfect. But for this old boy's money, it's the best there is, and God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. The good Lord loves you. You know I do too. And the best thing is you can't do a doggone thing about either one. See you soon.